Let's talk about this water and fire rival, Walter, and how her uncles think sending her to an orphanage is a great idea. Otherwise, this burden will stick around forever because her utterly responsible mother returning is about as likely as winning the lottery. Walter learns his mother won't return, heartbroken, dashes to the town's phone booth to call the law school. But the reply is so despairing. Her mother's lies are like dark clouds shadowing her. Walter feels abandoned again. Her uncles search for her at night, finding her outside his door, tears flooding. She holds a hilarious map, planning to find her mother in Montana, refusing to return to an orphanage she's tasted the bitterness. What she craves isn't her uncle's fortune, but the companionship of a mother's love. Seeing her pitiful self, the second uncle's house, he offers Walter a way out, begging her to stay and help scare away the noisy, greedy relatives, so they can enjoy a peaceful retirement. Thus, Walter accepts the mission and returns with her uncles. The next day, the sun blazes, her uncle offers ice-cold Coke. Their relatives get no water, showing uncle's dislike. Suddenly, a salesman appears like an NPC. He gets out of the car waving a white flag, clearly having done his homework, as if begging for peace. He speaks Walter's curiosity. He suggests uncles check his sales, it might surprise them. The salesman doesn't disappoint. This time, he brings an amazing product, a super cool launcher. Just pull the handle, and discs will launch into the air effortlessly. And you can smash them with bullets. It's great for shooting practice, and the price is right. So the gun enthusiasts bought it at once. The relatives, fearing the guns would endanger their kids, skedaddled away. From that day on, Walter became the assistant in her uncle's lives. The brothers hit every target, wasting not a single disc, truly making the most of it. At night, Uncle Herb is once again sleepwalking by the river. Walter wants to wake him, but second uncle stops her, saying he got beat down the last time. Despite Herb's age, his fighting spirit is still strong. He could take on 2 people. Every night he appears by the river looking woeful. Truth is, he's reminiscing about first love Jasmine. The night campfire evokes nostalgia. Tonight Walter hears Uncle's backstory. The legendary saga begins in the spring of 1914, as the brothers embark on a wild adventure. The brothers crossed the Atlantic to dreamy Europe and got sloshed by 2 soldiers on their first night. When they woke up, they found themselves on a conscription ship bound for North Africa. Talk about fate. The brothers were forced into warfare, and little did they know, the second uncle was just a timid bookworm who almost lost his life several times. Luckily, his brave big uncle always dashed into the battle to save him, truly like a super bodyguard. After the war, the second uncle travelled, while Herb fought the slave trade in uniform. He ventured deep into enemy territory with just 4 companions, charging him with courage. Shockingly, one of the slaves he rescued was the legends of his bravery caught the princess' attention, and she vowed to meet this hero just once. Uncle suddenly wakes up from his dream, putting a pause on the tales of his youth, back to reality. Maybe this woman is Uncle's Jasmine he always thinks of, ever since buying that frisbee launcher. The brothers seem to have opened the door to a new world, showcasing the essence of wild spending. But not every acquisition was a win. Like that time, they bought a dozen packets of vegetable seeds, only to discover that they all sprouted as super cheap corn. While the lion they bought from the zoo to hunt turned out to be a lazy little kitty that looked nothing like a king. The brothers completely lost their urge to hunt upon seeing it, and it ended up being kept as a pet by Walter, aptly named Jasmine. Uncle got a bit mad, but old folks forget easily. The next day, he brushed it off. In a particularly good mood, he heads to town for food, but then collapses face first into the dirt and is rushed to the hospital. While waiting, second uncle recounts stories from the past. Jasmine, having heard of Herb's deeds, swore she had to meet this hero. One day, while riding by the sea, Herb encountered an equestrian expert who wouldn't let anyone pass him, starting a silent competition. Both refused to yield, and their horses collided, plunging them into the water. But the duel wasn't over. Herb sprang up with a knife, ready to fight, only to find beneath the dark cloak was a breathtaking face. The hero meets the beauty of his dreams. The waves embraced the sunset, the evening breeze fell in love with the symphony of love, and the 2 connected instantly. But Jasmine was engaged to a neighbouring chieftain who, upon hearing of her love, stormed in to take her. Jasmine was ready to sacrifice everything for love, yet Herb went into battle alone, taking down 20 guards by himself and winning back his lady. Just when the story is getting good, Uncle wakes up from his hospital bed, grumbling about wanting to discharge himself. What a scene. When Uncle's hospitalization news spread, the relatives showed up late with a strange will for him to sign. But they were too late to catch him. Uncle had already signed himself out and left. Once again, hopes were dashed for the couple, while the old folks and little one were dining leisurely at the steakhouse. Just then, a few noisy teenagers burst in, speaking disrespectfully to Uncle, and Walter personally witnessed Uncle's mighty awe being displayed to its fullest extent. Even though he had just been discharged from the hospital not long ago, and his physical condition hadn't fully recovered, the former war hero still exuded immense confidence, making it clear to those young punks that they wouldn't be able to harm him easily. They had no choice but to accept reality while he enjoyed a beer, embodying the legendary vibe of the war hero he once was.